in.
Is there would you say there's a lot of variability in sort of the written answers that the students give when they give one? I mean, do the students find lots of different ways to phrase correct and incorrect answers? Or are they all pretty consistent?
It depends which question. The first question, the draw question, is very limited. They either answer these, very similar explanations. But for the second question, variable.
So
varies.
I noticed there's only 3 questions here. Weren't there 4 questions?
That was one that was 100% on the post test.
Yeah,
Question
so
2.2.
Yeah, these are the controls. I didn't list that one. That one is the experiment. The question 2.2 is the experimental group, which student get it right.
These are the questions on
About
About the controls. So the question 2.2 I didn't list here because that's the experiment. Remember, like 70-some percent, 80% student did right in the pre, and 83% got it right pre, and 100% got it right. And I didn't ask them to provide explanation because that's pretty straightforward, just testing what they try to test. So that's why it's not included here. They usually don't provide explanation, or we didn't ask them to provide explanation. Is that clear? So these are the 4 additional questions I told you about that it's on the post-test but not the pre. And so I would say, these 3 are unnecessary experimental conditions, and the variable for these questions, most students get it right. And for these 2, still small percentage of students are able to identify these are something unnecessary for this experiment. And for the although for negative control, about 60% in another experiment condition, they are able to identify. So I think it takes a lot of time to practice. The fact they can make progress is already, I think, is very good. And still, these results indicate that students, of course, could use more practice, so they will be really sure what are the necessary control for this particular experiment setting, what are unnecessary. It's not related directly to this experiment. So when we ask the student throughout the control activities throughout the whole semester, whether that help you design your own research experiments, and most students, 70% of them, think it's very helpful to their experiment, and 30% thinks little help. So I gave you some quotes from students to see why do they think it's helpful, why do they think it's just a little help.
You didn't have any students that said they didn't think it was any help at all?
Yeah, nobody. I mean, most students like in the little help group. Yeah. So my conclusion, pre-test data show that most MCDB students lack the ability to identify and understand the controls. Significant number of students after taking 1 semester-long cell biology lab are able to recognize the control and in the experiments. Their ability to recognize control is coupled with their understanding of the controls, which the post-test student, if they provide the answer, if they choose the correct and provide the answer, those answers are all reasonable answers. So having said that, and thank you for your participation, and if you have any more questions, I'll be glad to answer.
Just real quick on that last slide. Was it like a multiple choice, like a Likert scale kind of thing, or did you just generally ask a broad open question to students whether or not something was helpful? And then
it's a Likert scale. Actually has a no help, little help, much help, 5 scale, and explanation, explain. So it's a combination of Likert scale choice and explain. So I only gave them 2 questions because of time issue. It's attached with the post-test question. The second question I asked them is about rate the difficulties of the various control activities, easy and difficult or moderate, difficult, very difficult, and so on. Student answers are mixed. They said, well, some control activity are easy, others are difficult. And it really depends. In general, they think it's difficult. So that's their opinion.
So if the students are telling you that some are difficult and some are relatively simple, have you thought about designing them so that they build? That is to say, I mean, what is it that makes a problem what is it that makes a problem difficult? And can you... So I think in our discussion, it was imperative to me that you gave me some really simple, concrete examples of positive and negative controls. And I'm wondering if that could feed back into the development.
Yeah, that's a very good comment. So the TAs, although we have a weekly meeting, me and the instructor teach the course will prepare them for the course, and I will specifically go over the control activity with them. They still don't feel comfortable, even after the preparation. So at the beginning, I think if I have to do this again, we will make it very apparent. Practice on what are the positive control, what are negative control, using very simple example. Because we didn't really, get into in depth, with simple example, doing that, students at the beginning are not crystal clear about what are positive and negative controls. So that's actually one of the comments. They said if we can discuss more in depth, maybe with some examples at the very beginning, and they will, it will be better. So something it related to, if we can train the TA so they are more comfortable, because I didn't want to be the one take over the course to standing there. Here the example I asked them to do, but they didn't feel comfortable. And they actually tried to define the positive negative control, had discussion, but I guess students didn't feel that's adequate amount doing that.
That makes me think about some of the things we talked about in other contexts when designing something that you want students to pick up the differences and the similarities of some sort of compare-contrast with different experiments. Real simple ones like your squash spray. I wonder if that would be a good introduction so students are actually defining negative and positive from a series of examples. If that might be helpful. Certainly we wanted concrete examples so that we could, rather than, I guess we could try to tease them apart too, rather than the definitions weren't enough for us.
Yes. Yeah, I think that's something, one of the TA actually tried to explain and couldn't, actually went to search online everything. The next time she came back and discussed, just the definition. Now, I think if we have more example coupled with the definition, that would be more helpful. Because sometimes still kind of vague about, even if you give an explanation, definition, but it's in the context of the real experiment, it's different, whether you can really apply the definition to real example, that's another layer. Yeah, that's right. Those are very valuable suggestion questions. You have another question in here? Any other questions? Wow, silent. Thank you again. Yeah, that was very helpful. Thank you.